I'm just as excited as everybody else to finally see Michael Porter Jr. make his debut for the Denver Nuggets this season. But with his long health history requiring 2 back surgeries for herniated discs, and then the foot drop that he developed earlier this year, I have to say I'm pretty worried about his long-term health in this upcoming season. Welcome back everyone to your #1 source for learning about everything related to sports medicine news and sports injuries. In this video, we're going to talk about the fact that Michael Porter Jr. still appears to be dealing with this foot drop and looks like he's still wearing a brace. I'm concerned this could have a lot of implications on his health for the upcoming season and something that we should definitely be watching closely as he gets ready to make his debut. Make sure and go subscribe if you like this type of content and want to stay up to date with future videos, and let's get started. As you guys might remember, we first heard about this supposed foot drop back kind of at the beginning of the summer when it was reported that he had had foot drop as sort of a side effect from his last back surgery and was going to be wearing a brace for the summer league. I did a full standalone video, so go check that one out, kind of diving into more details about what a foot drop is and how it might relate to MPJ. But the reason for this video is it looks like he still is wearing an AFO this far out from his initial surgery, and I think that raises a lot of concern for his injury potential going into the season. Let's get right to some of the footage from their practices, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. In our first clip here, we can see whenever MPJ turns around, if you look down closely at his left foot, you can see this kind of black strap or this black band that seems to be wrapping from the inside of his calf down around to the outside into his shoe. There's been a couple examples of this where we can clearly see him wearing some sort of brace on that lower leg. It doesn't look like he's always wearing it, specifically when he's just shooting around. There's times when we see he doesn't have it on, but in all of their kind of scrimmage practice situations, it looks like he's still wearing this. An AFO is an ankle foot orthosis, and the particular one it looks like Porter Jr. is wearing is probably a carbon fiber dorsiflexion assist AFO. There's a lot of different designs of these. If you Google them, you'll see a lot of different specific styles and patterns, but this particular model kind of gives you an example of why we're drawing these connections based on what we can see with MPJ wearing. There was even a clip where one specific frame you could actually see kind of the black band wrapping around his calf muscle, further giving this sense that he's wearing this specific brace. The AFO is designed to help provide assistance to keep those toes from dragging or to keep the foot from dropping down. To be honest, I don't know of any examples of a professional basketball player wearing a brace like this during competition, so it'll be interesting to see what exactly happens with MPJ. When people are wearing these not playing in the NBA, they break them frequently depending on how severe the load is they're putting them under. And so don't be surprised if we see Michael Porter Jr. snap one of these braces while he's playing, just because of the load that they're designed to take. So we have evidence of him still wearing this AFO, implying that he still is dealing with at least a mild form of this foot drop. Why is this such a big deal and why are we concerned? His last back surgery was over a year ago at this point. It was back in the summer of 2018. And so the fact that he still is showing signs of nerve damage more than a year out from his surgery tells us that there's a much lower chance that this will completely resolve. Oftentimes we tell patients kind of that 6-month to 1-year mark is when we're going to see most of that change having had occurred. There's definitely little nuances depending on the specific type of injury pattern that was there, but the fact that it's been over a year and we're still seeing signs of foot drop tells me that there's less of a chance that this is going to completely resolve. But the main reason I'm so concerned about this is because of how it can affect the rest of that kinetic chain and predispose him to other types of injuries. I talk on this channel a lot about the kinetic chain, that idea that damage or injury in one specific part of the body can affect the rest. When you're dealing with nerve damage that's resulting in weakness in your foot and ankle muscles, that's going to cause other changes within your kinetic chain that make you predisposed to injury. Remember back when MPJ was slated to start in summer league and everybody was super excited, but then he got that knee injury? It was on the same side that he appears to be wearing this brace. And so it doesn't mean it's 100% related, but I can't help but imagine that there has to be some connection there based on how his mechanics might be altered because of this foot drop. One of the common mechanisms for an ankle sprain is whenever the player catches their toes on the ground and isn't able to dorsiflex or raise their toes up. We've seen this happen with Steph Curry a lot, and so if you have weakness in picking that foot up off the ground, you're going to be more predisposed to ankle sprains. Also, just the way that your foot is able to adapt to different landing, you're going to be more susceptible to injuries further up, like in the knee. There's different levels where you can have nerve damage causing a foot drop. It can be everything from up in the roots of the spinal cord all the way down to the nerve at the muscle itself. If this damage is from the nerves leaving the spinal cord, then we have to think of the other muscles that could be affected as a result of that injury. In particular, some of the glute muscles around the hips also get their innervation from the same nerve that's weak and causing this foot drop. So it's not a question of what's just going on down at the ankle. This is something that can affect that entire kinetic chain and predispose him to injuries all the way from the ankle up to the hips. This in no way means he shouldn't be playing. Having to wear one of these devices certainly does not exclude someone from playing competitive basketball, but it is something we need to keep a close eye on as we watch him play and really make his debut here, to see how well he's moving, to see if he's ever having moments where he seems to be catching his toes or tripping over his ankle, or if he's having little moments where he lands awkwardly and seems to be more predisposed to knee injuries. Let me know any questions or comments you guys have below, specifically about AFOs or about foot drop and how it might relate to Michael Porter Jr. Thanks as always for watching the video. I hope you all learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.